Hello and howdy. So we're basically going to be doing a for Affinity Q&A, and I can see from there's probably about 20 people out there, which is more people than we have on the site right now. So, so we want to start off just a preference that we know FA's had a history of ups and mostly downs, and that there's been some drama and some issues. We don't want to focus on the drama. One of the things that we want to do is focus on how we're moving forward to fix and improve the site. We have several people with us, 2 admins and a special guest from IMVU, which I know may be a 4-letter word for some of you, in a literal and figurative sense. So what we want to do is let you be able to hear words from our own mouths, be able to answer questions, because what you read online versus what you hear in reality can be 2 different things, and sometimes hearing it directly can have a completely different impact. So to start, I figure we'll do brief introductions, we'll make some quick announcements, and then we can do Q&A panel. So first off, I'm Dragoneer. I am the head honcho and director for Affinity, and usually the guy to blame when anything goes wrong, whether it's my fault or not. Usually, unfortunately, it is, but so.
I'm Jeff Hanlon. I've met a lot of you this weekend. I'm actually the Director of Customer Care and Education at IMVU, and I also have the privilege of being the closest IMVU employee to this conference, so another reason I'm here. But I also attended a FurCon in San Jose, where I met Sean for the first time in January, I think that was. Yeah, further confusion. So I've had a fantastic time. What a great community, and I look forward to answering any questions you might have about IMVU and our relationship with Affinity.
I'm Asia Neko. I'm the Acceptable Upload Policy Enforcement, so I'm sorry if I've taken your things down. I don't hate you, I promise.
I'm Chase. I'm your Director of Operations. I mostly manage staff, hiring, things of that nature, and filling in wherever I need to be. And and there's a lot of me, so I can fill in a lot of stuff. But I'm Dragoneer's number 2, so I'm picking up after him as much as I can.
We also have Netcat, who's hiding over in the corner.
Yeah, so whenever the site goes down, that's that guy.
Yeah, he helps us with the server and networking issues. He's been an amazing asset over the years. So first and foremost, in 2008, we started making a plan for something called folders, something you may have heard of. Well, unfortunately, we put the idea for folders in a folder and closed the drawer, and they kind of got forgotten over in time.
That's because of the trash compactor incident, right?
That's another. So, FA's had an unfortunate history of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, where whenever we've made progress, there's been an unfortunate incident like, oh, hey, the server caught fire. So instead of spending a few weeks fixing A, now I have to spend a few weeks fixing B. And we didn't quite have the resources for a long time to just really put the time and effort we needed into the actual site. Thanks to my generous benefactors at IMVU, who decided to help us out, we've actually been able to make a lot of progress this year. And potentially by right now, I just gave the flag to upload folders to the site, so they should be live by now or in the next 5 minutes. So it took less time for Half-Life 3, so I'm still ahead of the curve. So folders are going to be coming out in their initial format. One of the things that we want to do is get people's feedback on how you feel they work, what benefits there are. There are some minor limitations to them, but otherwise they work completely across the board, which is something I'm finally happy to say works from the get-go. But folders is not the only update that we're pushing. One of the most annoying factors on the site has been trying to manage your own submissions, like, hey, you can't click more than 1 to remove at a time or 1 to edit. Fixed. As a security precaution, we also made all deletions require a password. So as we've had happen many times in the past, your really annoying friend logs onto your computer claiming he just wants to check his Gmail and LOL, he just wiped your gallery. Can't happen anymore unless he actually knows your password. We've also added another update, so each submission will give you a gallery preview of the first submissions before and after, complete with thumbnails, which is actually really cool and really efficient looking. So the entire purpose of this is to help art get exposed and to help categorize everything. So we spent a lot of time in the past few weeks and months laying the background for all of this, updating efficiency. We've been recoding a lot of stuff because, as some of you may know, FA's previous code has a lot more in common with a plate of spaghetti than we'd like. Currently, it's about rigatoni level, so we're getting up there in the pasta chart of coding. Manicotti is kind of like, the higher end.
That sounds pretty good.
I'm fat for a reason. I love pasta. I won't lie. So.
What about a shade of lasagna?
Oh, yeah, no, lasagna would definitely be the god king of.
Yeah, you can do a lot with lasagna.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. So that update should be going live, as I said, very shortly. It's going to be hitting the classic version first, and sometime within the next hour or two, it'll be hitting the beta site, which we had a few tweaks that we needed to do to fully fix out the compatibility. But that said, by the time we're all leave, you can start uploading, adding folders, adding descriptions, and categorizing your art and submissions. So it's been a long time coming, and I'm just happy to finally be able to say it's done. As far as what's next, a lot of people have been asking for character profiles. Those will be coming soon within probably the next month. Lots of other little fixes and tweaks. So we've been able to make a lot of progress this year, especially with rewriting our rules and policies that aren't completely obnoxious. Legalese is annoying even to us, so we wanted to make it just readable in plain English. But so we've also been working on our customer service issue, which, as some of you know, has what's the word for not the greatest reputation that doesn't make us look like idiots? Not the greatest reputation. It's bad, I will admit. But since the start of this year, we've closed over 10,000 tickets. We've closed over our backlog by almost 75%.
Yeah, we're currently, since the implementation of staff groups and things like that, and uniformity for professionalism in customer service to make sure you guys are receiving the best customer service that we can provide, we have only about 2,500 tickets in the queue left out of what used to be, I want to say, as of today, 13,000. And that's just this year. Like, we just homed it all in. It's just, and that's thanks to our awesome staff that we have.
Yeah. We've also added a lot more admin tools to help make reporting duplicate tickets and finding other issues like dramatically faster. So when one user reports an issue, you can always knock out 5 or 6 other related tickets to that in the span of a few minutes. So we've definitely fixed a lot of our problems with that. So I'm happy for that. And that's pretty much what I have for news. We'll be posting change logs on the site for folders, what's changed, so you can follow up on that. This microphone works from FA too. So we want to do a Q&A for people who have questions about the site, usability, what's worked, what hasn't, whatever questions you may have. Feel free to line up at the wonderful microphone at the front, and feel free to ask.
Yes, I just wanted to add one thing. There should be another category in the trouble ticket system under report of a problem. So when you do explore those folders, please give us your feedback, whether you think it's a problem or something that we can add to improve your experience. We really want to hear from you.
All right, so before you ask your question, just state your name so we know what to call you.
All right, I'm Murkita. There's only 2 things that I've had real problem with. I'm not a big uploader, but 2 of the things I've been interested in is mass uploading. So uploading, say, 10 files. I don't care if they go on the front page. I just want to upload 10 files easily. And then the note system, having them make a little more sense, I know we're used to the email system where it's a conversation and there's re's and, but just having them just by date or just perfectly by date or something like that. The system hasn't been the best, but it is something we use a lot.
Regarding the first, mass uploads is definitely something we will be doing. We have to redo the uploading system, and that'll be a part of what we do for stories and music, because the way we handle stories on FA is terrible. Like, absolutely, like, I can't even begin to, like, find a way to PR spin this. It's a pile of I admit that. It makes fledgling, like, writers cry. Oh, I gotta upload to FA? What's so furry? So there's other sites have much better options, but as far as uploading, we have to fix the entire system in order to allow that. But that is on the list of what we will do. As far as batch uploading, what we would probably do is separate it so you can do a batch upload, get I hear like a weird echo. Anyway, when you batch upload, every submission will be automatically done a minute after a time to prevent flooding, or to prevent that guy who wants to upload, a few hundred real, dick pics and harass the site, which nobody really wants to see. So, regarding the notes, that's actually a really good idea to. Do you hear that too?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not your fault.
All right, that's fine. Sorting by date is actually a really good idea. And actually, we will get that done. I don't know when. Doing character profiles and fixing the uploader so you can do exactly what you want to do is our next priority. But that's actually a really good idea to fix notes. So.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Anything you've ever wanted to know?
Such a long panel.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is the Macho Man Randy Savage. So I've been noticing some UI issues. I don't know if it's just iPhone or if it's maybe one of the browsers, but like the whole top row of stuff that you can click. What is that called?
The navigation bar. Usually.
All right, yeah, the navigation bar. It gets like piled into 3 rows.
Okay, so the issue that you're describing is the problem that FA is not optimized at all for mobile.
All right.
The fix for that is by the end of the month, FA Mobile will be live for testing on beta. So a proper mobile system will be ready to go. I've already got it halfway coded. I just had to finish a few other things. I originally wanted to show the mobile site at here, but we ran into a few last minute delays, especially prepping for con. But one of the things that we wanted to do is have a separate mobile and separate desktop. It's because we know some people hate having that, they go to a site and they're automatically directed to mobile, and the mobile kind of sucks compared to desktop. So we want to be able to offer the solution that you can go to m.fa.net and you can choose mobile. Or if you want to go to desktop, just www. So we want to give the choice to users to make it just a little more fluid.
Yeah, I was just bringing it up because I never had this problem until just last month. Like every submission will just be in 1 row.
Are you using Classic or Beta right now?
I'm just using Classic.
Because I was going to say, if you switch over to Beta, I know the mobile's not completely done, but it looks a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, if you've not used the beta recently, I've probably spent roughly 60 hours a week for the past 3 weeks fixing and tweaking stuff for the new beta site, and it works and feels a lot better.
Like, I'm going to be honest with you, I am a big nitpicker as far as when it comes to UI. And he's been working on the beta for the longest time. I was just like, that's nice, go back to Classic. and it wasn't until actually very recently I switched over and I was like, I like this better than Classic now. So I even though the beta is still not completely done, I urge you to at some point check it out and take a look at it. And if you have suggestions for it, you can always provide that to us through the trouble ticket system. Because we're always happy to hear what you have to say, especially if you find like a bug or in the beta, so we can take care of that real quick.
And especially for UI issues, we've been able to knock them out probably 10 times faster than we have in the past, because thanks to the wonderful people at IMVU, I've been able to get my shit together in the past half year. And I completely admit it took a little bit longer than it ever should have, but we've definitely made a lot of progress and things have gotten better. So
he says we, but in reality, he's spent the majority of the time doing this UI, and I really feel he should get the credit that he's due, because he's been pouring so many hours out of the day into this UI. I go over to his house, to work on things and spend time with his wife. And what is he doing? He's working on the UI. It's always the UI. But to his credit, it's looking really good. So thank you very much for all the time you've been putting into the UI.
I've had to spend a lot of time learning better UI things, methods of design, and that was not really my strong suit. But we've come a lot better, and the goal is to have the new UI ready to go live by the end of the month as well. So it should launch with mobile. It's a lot faster, a lot more efficient across the board. So we're really, really happy about that. So, any other questions, comments, concerns? This will be a very short panel.
All right, Mr. Fox.
Eat it. Okay.
That looks so wrong from my view right here.
We're gonna have to flag this as mature, please. You got the IMVU whatever guy taking pictures now.
They're for his own personal use.
I think every time I say, is it IMVU? IMVU? I think that's the first time I said it right this entire convention. So sorry.
Okay. Ever think of considering a single login for multiple characters pages? Because I have 2 pages. I was thinking of having, because I had to log in separately to each one and stuff.
Yeah, that's actually something that goes into not the next update that we want to do, which is fixing uploads, because we know, but after that, we want to properly fix groups. So actually having real groups and real substructure, but among that, allowing people to quickly tab between accounts that they own. I know that's been something that for people who, we have some people who have like a commission account, an adoptable account. I'm streaming because I just wanted to make a new account. And people use them regularly, and we have no restrictions on how many accounts that you can have, as long as you're using them for, legitimate purposes rather than, trolling or trying to bypass a block or just being a butt. That's the professional term, by the way. But one of the things that we want to do is offer users more flexibility in what they can do, who they can block. One of the biggest things that's been requested is, hey, I really love this artist, but they're a real asshole, and I hate their journals, and I don't want to follow their journals because they post 18 a day. And usually that's me posting those journals, and I get that, God, please stop. We don't care about your, So we actually have that coded in. Within the end of the month, you'll be able to say, hey, I don't want to watch his journals. I don't want to watch his submissions for whatever reason. You could have that option and have that power. So we've been going through, unfortunately, years worth of feedback that we weren't able to act on, and finally make a lot of the features and things that people want actually happen. So we're really excited about that, and we actually have progress to go along with that for once. So it's been a long time coming, but we've definitely made a lot of steps forward. So, anyone else?
Steps forward, yeah.
Uh-oh, it's Mercury again.
Welcome back.
Okay.
I just want to comment that I like that he doesn't walk up, he saunters. It's a completely different style of transportation.
You strike me as someone who watches The Big Lebowski a lot.
Yes. So,
It's a good movie.
this microphone really brings the room together.
It really does.
Woo. Okay, you can Halloween. You're a furry, we know you're here. Come on.
Okay, so I remember the journal that said, you guys, you sold the company as a whole to IMVU. Is IMVU publicly or privately holding?
We are a private company.
Okay.
That's right. We have about, let me tell you a little bit about IMVU. First of all, I know the name's confusing. Our brand sucks. Even we actually had a couple of YouTube videos earlier this year with a couple of our executives and founders of the company saying, well, how do you say the name of our company, right? Even in our own company, we say it different ways. Is it IMVU? Is it IMVU? IMVU? Well, who knows? And it doesn't stand for anything either. So we might have an update for that in a few months because we're working on our brand. We realize it's kind of an issue. So we have about 130 employees. based primarily in California. I'm one of the lucky few who works from home from Richmond and Virginia, I should say. We also have a staff of about 80 people that I'm directly responsible for in the Philippines, who help support our massive community of millions and millions of users. We have a lot of synergies between these. It's funny, even earlier when you said, when someone uploads, 100 real dick pics, I'm like, oh my God, this is my life. User-generated content, right? We have very much in common when it comes to that. And so part of the job of my team is actually reviewing thousands of flags every day from our community complaining about content or behaviors and things like that. So some synergies there. One of the cool things that we've had a chance to do is talk about our communities in the past few days, and I've really gotten to know yours and see similarities, but I also see ways that I think FA can help IMVU, right? I'm starting to understand that our furry community is really not as evolved as what I've seen here, and seeing this art too, I'm thinking there's so much that could be done at IMVU to improve the furry lifestyle at IMVU. Sean's talked about some of his experiences in the community, and it's not been entirely positive about criticizing his avatar. It's not really a furry because it's a dragon and all these things, right? Go ahead.
I just got to comment on this so I don't forget. So, working for IMVU, I was given a staff account. I'm like, oh, sweet, I'm official, yay. So I wanted to log in, and I'm like, oh, but I'm too lazy to make my own character. Let me look up dragons. I completely admit I was not a fan of what I found, but I found like the best Charizard design. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is great. So I walk into like a furry chat room, like, hey, I want to see, I've never used IMVU before. I was like, okay, let me just, let me see what trouble I've got myself into. And I swear, the first thing someone says is, you need to leave. I'm like, excuse me? It's not my response. It's like, I'm staff. I'm like, what the fuck? What would I do? You're not a furry. You're just a guy in a suit. And I'm like, what do you think a furry is? No, you're just a guy in a dragon suit. You're not a real furry. I'm like,
How entirely accurate.
yeah, I'm like, you know what? I think I am gonna leave because I'm just not, yeah. I don't have any words to really explain it. It's just like, well, that happened, and then it happened again and again and again and again. I'm like, okay. So what an IMVU furry is definitely different than anything else I've ever known.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I think that it's a huge opportunity for us, right, as a combined team now, for both an opportunity for people who've traditionally been associated with for Affinity to expand their horizons and go 3D, take their art 3D, and potentially make a huge stack of cash off of IMVU. Some of our biggest developers at IMVU, who are artists as well, make 6 figures, right? Just making virtual content, selling these fursuits for what's ultimately maybe $4 or $5 a pop, but when you sell 50,000 of them, we're talking about a huge amount of money, and that's just one product. Imagine you have a catalog of 2,000 products, and it's just out there making money. We have some of these bigger development firms that sort of have teams of people who that's what they do. They create these products, and then other people derive from those products, and it's just like this, almost like a pyramid scheme, and you just make money, right? So, but you're also able to make art, right? And some of these things are really beautiful. Although our furries need some evolution, some of the avatars are just striking. I showed a couple people one earlier today, and it's just these gorgeous, gorgeous, colors and very vivid avatars. So. I know you asked if we were a private or public company, and I just took the opportunity to ramble on about it. But I also think there's an opportunity. Sean actually had a great idea. Maybe next year we could find someone who is a developer in our community, one of the better ones, hopefully, to come and give a talk about how to go 3D, right? How to take your art 3D and potentially get involved at IMVU as well.
I did want to add an addendum to that. I know a lot of people in the furry community are Second Life creators. And IMVU is actually much, much more successful than Lindum Labs. So if you can imagine the sales that you do on Second Life and the potential for that marketplace on IMVU, it's a pretty cool opportunity.
Well, and I think it's just a starting ground too. I actually think the furry community at Second Life is probably more evolved right now. Yeah. But that's a good, even better opportunity for people like you to get your foot in the door early and get those products that are really popular. I made a furry avatar earlier today on my mobile. We have a mobile presence as well. We have mobile apps on iOS and Android, native apps. We also have web apps, so it doesn't only require you downloading a client anymore. And you know, I created a furry avatar. I'm not really super happy with it. I'm not going to go around and showing everybody, look at our really cool furry avatar, because it really isn't as evolved, and I think there's a big opportunity there. So,
well, thank you very much. And you know, the community on FA, especially you know, under the direction of Dragoneer and our admins, is actually really inclusive. Mm-hmm. And you know, if you guys can take that from FA and bring it to IMVU, you know, and make that furry community a little more friendlier, mm-hmm. I think you guys can do it.
Well, I think you're right. I think possibly a bigger opportunity than the art is bringing the community, because it is a challenge, you know, for just that experience. This is the experience that we hate at IMVU, right? But we want it to be more welcoming, especially for new people. As you know, any community is going to have its drama, and some people live off of that drama. Someone probably enjoys doing this to newbies, like, oh my God, your avatar is just not good enough, right? But yeah, we would love that. I think that's one of the things that I'm taking back from my time here is this community is amazing. It's so inclusive, like over the top inclusive. I brought 15 pairs of shoes thinking, oh, I gotta look good, or I'm like, no, I'm wearing my clogs because they're comfortable, whatever. And I just think it's a really fun environment.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for letting me be a part of it. Not that you had a choice.
I have another IMVU question.
Oh, okay, I'll keep it.
I don't want to stir up any furry drama.
It's all right. I was kind of expecting it. You don't have tomatoes, do you?
IMVU is a company, and they purchased Fur Affinity. Mm-hmm. I don't, want to say this, but if the worst happens to IMVU and it goes out of business or bankrupt or whatever, do we have to worry about Fur Affinity, or if it'll be sold or put out of business or whatever with IMVU?
You're right. We're a company, right? I mean, we're here to do business. There's no doubt. I mean, we wouldn't have, created this relationship with Fur Affinity if we didn't think it was a good business decision, right? And it is mostly because of you, right? Because of the community. It's because of these massive numbers that the Fur Affinity has. We are, as Chase said earlier, we're a very successful company. We continue to evolve and grow, and we would love to get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? The situation you're talking about, I think of it this way. Fur Affinity was already in danger, right? As it grew and didn't have the backing of a corporate parent, right? It became more and more at risk of just vanishing one day and never coming back because of a denial of service attack, or some major flaw or something that this very capable but small team wouldn't be able to handle. So I think of it the other way around, right? That you're in a much safer position today. We have no intention ever of going out of business, right? Just as the site would never intend to go out of business. But I think you're much safer. Just hearing some of the stories from the last year, for example, we've had our own denial of service attacks. We're a target, partly because of our economy, which has traditionally had a way for people to cash out on stolen accounts and stuff like that. But also just because there is drama, and we are one of the most successful sites on the internet. We have huge traffic, and our banners are everywhere. You may not be able to say our name, but you've probably seen our ads, right? If we didn't have the financial strength that we have, we would have all had our own problems, right? Like we were able to flip a switch and send our traffic somewhere else, which is something that Fur Affinity needs to be able to do as well. So I think you're in a much safer position today.
And on that note, I'd kind of like to elaborate a bit on what can I English right now? Elaborate. So not this past year, but the year before that, FA was hit by a rather nasty DDoS attack, and we were offline for probably about a day and a half. We received a surprise $1,800 bill from this one DDoS attack. And we started going, well, that's not good, and even the defense that we did have didn't help. So that's one of those things where we needed that extra bit of security to make sure that, our community of over 1 million registered accounts, over 200,000 active users, would always be able to have better uptime. And despite our reputation and the jokes that we do make, FA has had much better uptime in the past few years. It's just those unfortunate attacks where someone decides that, hey, I don't like the fact I was banned, so let me strike back. 1 or 2 people with today's technology, unfortunately, can take down a website. And that doesn't just hurt me. It doesn't hurt, the team. That hurts our users, Yeah, I mean, like this last attack last year, it wasn't just FA too. It was SoFurry, Weasel, and all the other sites. And unfortunately, people who have a vengeance can just ruin it for an entire community, and that's something that we want to be able to avoid in the future. Because I don't do what I do because of money, because I've not had money for the past 9 years. It's really sad. But Skiggles knows. She's like, oh God, another bill. I genuinely do love the community, but I haven't always had the resources and tools. To make a long story short, I used to work for Amazon AWS. My job was to keep sites like Reddit and Netflix online, but I was working 60 to 80 hours a week minimum, and I hated my life. Everyone I worked with hated their life. But if you can imagine trying to run a site like FA, which on a slow day has 13,000 users logged in minimum, or total, I should say, not minimum. But there's such a volume of users that I can't work 80 hours a week, come home and be like, oh good, it's 10 p.m. I got an hour to work on FA before I have to go to sleep. The site needs more than that and deserves more than that. So a lot of what we did was to make sure users would benefit from what we had to do. And that's like a lot of what we're doing. And I did get an update just now that folders are officially live. So once you're done here, you can go, yeah, I don't like this. Yeah, and again, the folders are in their initial release. We will be doing more updates to them, but they are fully robust. You can edit them, modify them. I believe the maximum amount you can have is 50. So if you were to be very annoying, you could write an entire poetry using your folder names. Not something I recommend, but
It's going to happen now because you said that.
Yeah.
Good job.
Does that answer your questions, though?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sure.
I was wondering if there going to be different theme colors for the site besides the default dark and light?
So I've been working on the new beta UI, and I've been spending tons of time making it really, really, really easy to update themes. Classic's much harder because of the way things were coded and laid out. It can be done, it's just not quite as easy. When the UI goes live officially, we're going to have about 12 different themes and colors based on the new theme, classic, old, light powder blue class. I'm sorry, I hate the light theme for the old one. It's just...
I used to use that theme all the time.
It's just not a good... some people love it, Anyway, to answer your question, yes, we will have new themes. I tend to speak more than I should. Skiggles always hits me. I asked you yes or no question. You started talking for 3 hours, and you didn't answer. So yes.
Remember, you married for love.
I married for money, and I messed up.
You go on too long, she's going to start yelling at you to butt.
So, yes, we will have a bunch of different themes, and if you use Grease Monkey or other scripts, we've specifically written the CSS so you can easily modify things on your side without having to do a whole lot of work. So if you want to do a custom theme or even submit a custom theme, it'll actually be really easy to do so. And once the site goes live for the new UI, we will have a contest to come up with your own theme. And so if you want to have your own theme with your own username, whether you're Mr. Awesome or fucking Yiffy Fox 128, and this is your Murray Purry theme. I'm sorry, I had to go there. You'll be able to customize your theme, submit it, and make it official if we like it. So.
Oh my God!
You know what?
You just really did it.
I will make an obnoxious theme just for people who hate themselves, because there's someone out there going, "This is too pleasant." If only I could have high contrast hot dog as a theme. Actually, high contrast hot dog will be the name of the theme. So.
I kind of want it now. Like that really goes back to my childhood. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait. How many high contrast hot dogs did you eat as a child?
Well, yeah, ever since Windows 3.1, I just couldn't help myself.
This is how we got fat, high contrast hot dogs. So that's actually the theme for FAU 2016, by the way. High contrast hot dog. Oh, you're welcome. And if anyone else has questions, comments, or concerns about FA, our history, where things may have gone wrong or especially right, feel free to line up behind this nice gentleman here. And we can hear you, don't worry.
First off, can I take a picture of you guys for Reddit?
Sure.
Wow.
Let me get to my upvote pose.
Hold on, let me just... Like, are you even going to be able to fit me in? Like, you're going to have to do, like, a panorama?
It's a widescreen shot, don't worry. Does my fat make me look fat? I just...
And also, why did IMVU buy FA?
All right. So I'll give you my take first. Then you can have my lovely corporate overlord friend Jeff. Or sorry, as we've been calling him Alcon, Mr. Jeff.
Mr. Jeff.
IMVU originally contacted me about doing a collaboration. Like, hey, we want to put our ads on. Shh, everyone point to Black Dragon in that hat and just stare.
Right there.
For interrupting me. You're banned.
That was like Salem right there, just like so quick. You have a lot of sway here.
So, the company called me and they're like, hey, we saw that you're looking for servers. If we were to do like a trade, would you be interested in getting some servers and some hardware in exchange? Maybe we could do some ads and some collaborative projects. And I'm just like, no.
That didn't work out well.
And they contacted us again, like, hey, is there anything that we can do? I'm like, I've always believed that advertisers, especially our furry advertisers, should all be treated equally. Doesn't matter how popular you are or how new you are. Everyone should get their exact same fair treatment. And I told IMV that. I'm like, if you want to buy an ad, you can buy an ad, but you got to be like everybody else. You can't do the special package.
Did the adult sites that say 50 hot MILFs in your area also buy ads?
We will
no,
get to
but the
that
MILFs
one.
did stop by.
I love the grandma one.
Basically, I told IMVU no. I'm not really interested in doing this trade. And they're like, okay, is there anything you can, what could we do to help you? And me being a smartass, I'm like, well, unless you can pay me work from home and I can work on the side of my underwear at 5 p.m. on a Saturday, I don't really know what I can do. And they're like, well, what if we could make you work from home on a Sunday in your underwear? I'm like, wait, I was bluffing, but tell me more. So I know there's a lot of concern in the community, and it's something that's really hard to convey over text, but our conversation sort of went like this. Hey, we want to, let's buy FA. Come on. Unless you're willing to agree that, porn can never be removed, because we are an art site and we have a lot of different content. The majority of our content is PG. It is family friendly.
Yeah.
But we have artists who like to draw things large.
And the truth shall set you free.
So we have mature artists of sort. Anyway, I basically, yes.
I actually just pulled the numbers the other day, and it is still about 75% clean art.
All right, well, there you go. So my whole thing was, I want it in writing that you will not touch this, if you change this, I get a free Xbox. If you change this, you know, I get a PlayStation. If you do this, new car. I just basically laid out the most ridiculous things that I could, because I honestly did not believe IMVU had good intentions. I'm sorry. So I was like, no. You have to put in writing that you will not, like, I have to have full and final say over anything that happens on FA. Done. Right? You put that in writing that I can, if I want to have a high contrast hot dog theme on FA, I can choose what goes on there. Yes. So we were able to come to an agreement. I'm like, okay, the site had to remain true to what it was. IMVU could not change the spirit or decide, you know, down the road, yeah, well, we just don't want a furry site. What do you feel about ponies? So we love ponies, don't worry, it's fine. I know some of you don't. It's
oh
okay.
my God, that look you're getting right now.
Yeah.
From Skiggles, like.
Right. So from our side of the business, you know, we have two revenue streams in IMVU, right? We have our own virtual economy. We have people who come in and they'll buy credits in our dollars. So that's where the majority of our income comes from. That's what pays our salaries and keeps everything running. But we also augment that income with indirect revenue through advertising, right? We have people who come to our site. We're a freemium service, so a lot of people come to IMVU and they never pay us a dime, but we make money off of them by using our site, right? Or they'll you know, complete offers from our partners to fill out surveys or buy things and then get credits for doing that thing. So there are synergies. I hate that corporate word, but there are similarities in our business, right? Like we do have a furry community. We've talked about the challenges with that community and the opportunities there, but there is a connection in terms of this user-generated content, the art. It's no secret. I mean, anybody can look online and find the numbers for Affinity. It's fantastic. You know, this small team of mostly volunteers has gotten fantastic results and great traffic numbers. So from a pure business model, just putting ads on the site will ultimately pay for our acquiring for Affinity. So while they may be annoying, that was our primary goal, right? Was not only the community synergy, the community connection, and possible, you know, getting people to sign up for IMVU for Affinity or people who visit the site, but more so we're making money off of it, right? Like we're really good at ad placement, right? We have a team of people, and that's what they do is work with advertisers to get ads on sites and make money for us.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
that was it. There really is no other malicious intent, right? We want your traffic. We want for Affinity to have lots and lots of users and to keep running because, you know, we're making money off of it.
There was part of that question that didn't get answered. I want to make sure you answer. You brought up the adult ads. Basically, you know, that was, we have certain specifications as to what ads should be and should not be on the site, and that was on the fault of the people that we gave those specifications to who flipped the switch. And so when we found out that that had happened, we corrected it. Mm-hmm. And so we do have, you know, we don't want that sort of stuff on the site, and so it wasn't our intention for it to be on the site. That was not on our side. So as soon as we saw it, we corrected it.
It's sometimes really difficult to weed out all the MILFs, I must say. Like we've had the similar challenge at IMVU, right? Like if you get the wrong keyword in the wrong place, sometimes you get really bad ads. And we're much more restrictive, I think, than even for Affinity is. So we're pretty good about filtering out the wrong content, you know, very busty women, very low bras and that kind of stuff. Because we have pretty strict requirements when it comes to our general audience, the people who don't pay for an access pass. We want pretty PG content.
Yeah, so some of you may remember, unfortunately, the adult ads that did get on the site. That was a nightmare and a half, and I believe half of Virginia heard me screaming, "What the fuck?" when I woke up to see them on the site. I literally had to call up, you know, my other advertising half on IMVU and be like, "You're killing me, fuck, why?" But when that happened, it was neither on FA or IMVU side, it was... Yeah, it was the advertising partner who said, "Oh yeah, no, we'll respect all your policies and whatever." And they're like, "Oh, we can make a lot of money if we fuck them over."
Let's just make this mistake.
So we had, unfortunately, it was a few days where we were trying to figure out what the hell is happening. We terminated the ads, but they were still coming through. And all in all, it was a nightmare, and it was never intended to happen that way. To fix that, we are not reintroducing ads of that nature. Some of you may have seen, and for that record, I'd just like to say, if you have ad blocker on, I don't give a shit. I know IMVU does not want me to say that, but we specifically coded it so if you have ad blocker on, you don't get this annoying, you blocked us, you dick. So we know ads can be annoying, but the internet also has to find a way to pay for itself. IMVU wants to make money. We want to buy 48 terabyte servers so you can upload really big images, and so you can upload personal profile pictures that can be as long as you want. We want to have that option, but nobody likes us going, hey guys, it's January and I want a new server. Can you help me out on a GoFundMe? Nobody wants that. I don't want that. It's frustrating, and this gives us the option to have stability. If a server goes down, if we need a part, I call up my boss and it's overnighted. Like literally, I had a meeting one day and they're like, well, what can we do for you? I'm like, I'm actually really thirsty right now and I want a Red Bull. I'm not even kidding. A case of Red Bull showed up the next day. So they've been really good and proactive. They really care about the community.
I didn't get any Red Bull. Wait. I didn't know that was an option.
It's an option. Well, yeah. I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about IMVU due to, our lovely, non-disclosure agreements, but I will say this. At the IMVU corporate headquarters, they have like 3 fridges. One's like soda, the other one's energy drink, the next one's beer, and I'm like, how do I get this in my house? If this is an employee perk, I want this too. So they've been a really genuine company. My boss has been like, hey, there's been delays. He's like, okay. I'm like, okay. So you understand? You're not yelling at me? No, I understand delays happen, but we need to get this done. They've been free to let me experiment. Understand that the UI is not something we want to flip. That's premature. We've had the option for beta so we can get feedback and see if we're going in the right direction. Because nobody wants a UI that everybody's like, oh, it's good. Because that's not FA has a feel to it. And the feel for the classic theme is outdated as it was and how terrible outdated it was in 2007. It has a feel that the community's used to. And if we don't keep that feel, we can put a new UI up and everyone's like, oh, well, it's pretty, but screw it. So we've been trying very hard to keep the feel, try to expand on what we did right and what the community liked, but modernize it to a point where it's familiar but new. So I forgot what the question was. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're still talking about the MILFs.
Yes, that's right. So tell us about hot tranny grannies.
What I'd want on the site more than anything is a way to filter out art with particular tags and keywords.
Oh, I could not tell you how much I would love never to have to see scat pictures again.
That was right in my mind, that next to ponies.
So, no, I'll be completely honest. Sorry, finish the rest of your question.
That was pretty much it. Is that plans going to be in the future? Anything like that?
Yes, we're planning the underlying formatting for that. Folders has been my #1 goal. It's been the most requested feature, so I figured we needed to show people. I'm trying to think. There's an episode of South Park where Cartman's being a total dick. And to count, well, okay, that's every episode. And Mr. Garrison's response to Cartman being a total dick is, he's like, suck my balls. He's like, present them. So my feeling to show the community that we're doing what the community wants and trying to do them is to present them. So my balls in this case are folders. I didn't say this was going to be a clean panel.
Basically, keywords is something that, filtering is something that every single person on the staff wants, including me. Basically, we're looking at, we have keyword enforcement on the site, and we do take keywords seriously. And so we'll have to take it a little bit more seriously when it comes to the filtering option, because we need that accuracy. We need users to be willing to take the time to tag the information and tag the content, and we need to work together as a community so that we can have features like this and benefit from it wholly. So it is definitely something that we want. Folders, though, is kind of like the whale on the horizon that needed to get speared first.
Right, which is going back to the horrible tangent that my wife's going, don't say that.
I said nothing about balls, okay?
Yeah.
I said... Oh, sorry, our charity. They don't deal with whales. I don't think.
So
I'm sorry.
To get back to the question, filtration is definitely one of those things because as admins, we have what we just call front page wonders, where you sing, oh, click, oh, that's not what I thought it would be, and
the Moby Dick to his balls.
Unfortunately, as admins, no matter what filtration we have to look at it. But folders were our first priority to show that we are listening. I said with folders comes better gallery management, which has been sorely needed. Something else. The in-gallery previews and folders to show we are listening, we are working on what you're asking for, and we want to show that this is our intent to make the site better, not just change things, but finally do the things that we have been wanting to.
Yeah,
So.
it's all nice to just present you with a new UI and be like, look, it's pretty. But features are definitely something that we're focusing on.
That said, it's 10 minutes till closing ceremony, so we got time for one last question. So.
Okay, so continuing with the tag thing, can there be a way to suggest tags from the comments? Like every site has Ink Bunny, so for E621, everything.
That is something that is definitely on the list of things that we've been discussing. Like I said, I can't promise you anything, but we have been looking at all the other websites and how they're doing keywords and filtering, and we're going to try our best to pick the best out of everything and provide that for the community.
And I do want to say I do like the way Ink Bunny handles it the best, where you have your own official keywords, and then a user can suggest them, and you can say, yes, I like this, or I don't like this. One of the things that we want to do, in theory, is offer trusted users. So if a user has proven that they stand above everyone else, they're here to help, we can make their suggestions be like, hey, this is from a trusted user who really cares about making sure the content can be found and it's tagged right, and sort of help their suggestion go maybe to the top. But we definitely want a better tagging and filtering system to make FA work the way you want it to, not the way we want it to. So.
And how long will the summer banner be up?
Well, it's not summer for another 9 months, so we got some time.
I mean, summer's officially over, and
it's always summer in Australia,
it's not
so
even over yet, technically.
Yeah.
But I mean, the reason why we have the banner out right now is because the new UI is going to have different banner options and such. So that's the reason why it hasn't changed and why we haven't taken any new banners on.
We're good.
We've mentioned IMVU quite a lot today. If anybody wants to dabble around a little bit, you can do so freely. But I've got a pile of IMVU prepaid cards that are live. They're actually got the real dollar value on them. So if you want one, just see me afterward, and I'd be happy to give you one.
He's going to give you free money.
I got like $400 worth of cards in my bag.
Like, you can buy all the furry things.
You can't cash out on it or anything, but
yeah.
you can buy a really nice furry avatar. So.
And they got really sassy ladies on them. They're like,
All right, we can. So we're almost out of time, but if your question's quick, we can still take it because we got to get ready for closing ceremonies.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes.
All right. Ever since the IMVU move, I've heard a lot of really stupid rumors going around, like, "Oh, I'm gonna leave it because they're gonna take my art and sell it to IMVU," and I'm like, and I have no way to give them absolute proof that that's not true. So what's the best way to quell rumors?
So when all this happened, we had IMVU customer support, and I believe it was actually you yourself, standing by. So we were working with users. If someone had a question, concern, their art was taken, we had the customer support team standing by looking specifically for anything that said for Affinity to take it down immediately. And the unfortunate truth of things, if people can steal something, they're going to try. It doesn't matter whether it's IMVU, Amazon, Etsy. I think I hear like once a month American Apparel or either Hot Topic was like, hey, you stole some artist design.
Yeah, even when I was on Second Life, there's tons of stolen artwork on there. It's just an unfortunate thing that happens, and the best way we can combat it is by the people, the copyright holders coming forward and defending their copyright so we can remove it as quickly as possible. That way they don't make money off your content.
Absolutely. Join IMVU, check it out, right? If you see your stuff, I actually have a dedicated person who handles nothing but DMCA, right? Takedown notices on copyrighted material. You know, we get it from, you know, Budweiser or Levi's or whatever too, right? Because the same thing happens. Someone is stealing someone else's trademark, and we don't condone that at all. All it takes is a quick form from somebody, and we take it down immediately.
So, with that, I'd like to thank you for coming to the panel. I know it goes kind of slow at parts, but we really wanted to tell you, you know, we really are working. We really do care. As I said, folders are live now, so. I guess we'll give it a few minutes for a few other people to trickle in for closing ceremonies, and then get started.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We really appreciate it.